Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Bronco Stampede here, and I'm here to do a deep dive into a journey of why it is okay to give up on your dreams when it is proven accurate that you will never make it to any level successfully playing football. Ladies and gentlemen, I came across this man, Hunter Reynolds, who in my eyes seems like a very nice young man, a very positive young man. But his delusion into thinking that at any point in time in his career that he would be making it from where he started off, or where we're going to start off this video, is where you see right here. 3 changes that took me from JV bench warmer to the NFL. This is a delusion. This is clickbait. This is a clickbaity title, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into why it is. But first, we're going to walk through this video, and I'm going to break down every mistake that he made leading up to where he is right now. As you see, he has 40, he's sitting right now at 47,000 viewers, and he's been uploading for years, and he has not made any significant growth in his channel. All of his football content seems to be the same exact mediocre content that every ex-football player, every walk-on, every barely made it to the NFL player has done. This is nothing new. This is nothing. He is not pioneering or paving any new paths that any other NFL and football creator has already done, like the Destroyings, like the AJ Greens, like any of them that you can name. The one kicker that has a football channel that was trying to make it to the league, another NFL kicker that went to multiple teams as walk-on and try-ons for NFL teams, but just couldn't make it. This is nothing different from what everybody else does, hence why you see his viewerships. If you look closely at the viewers, some of them barely have 10,000, some of them barely have 6,000, 3,000 views. Some of them have over 108,000 views. We don't know how accurate those views are. There could be bots in there as well. We don't know. We do not know, but on average, he is averaging less than 6,000 views a channel. And we're going to get into every mistake Hunter Reynolds has made up until this point. Let's get into this video.
I went from riding the bench on JV to having a real shot in the NFL, George.
And there is an interception by Hunter Reynolds.
Not because I was the most talented.
Hunter Reynolds reels it in. Third interception by the Aggie defense.
Not because I got lucky.
Escapes the pressure. Throws near side. Hunter Reynolds.
But because I made 3 changes that rewired the way I thought about everything. Most players, they never figure this out. And that's why they never make it. Today.
And ladies and gentlemen, he never made it. All these 3 changes that he made, according to him, still led him to where we're going to eventually find ourselves once we check out more of his videos. But let's get into it. He was a JV bench warmer as a junior in high school. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how low of the totem pole that has to be? Where you're not even good enough to start at varsity in your junior year in high school. This is his first mistake. Okay? Once you know that now your football career is pretty much done, it's pretty much over with, you have no shot of doing anything in football, that is when your ass should have went to school. You should have went to college. You should have went to you should have filled out ASVAB. You should have took your SATs, whatever the fuck. You should have filled that shit out. You should have filled that shit out and made a legitimate push to get a college diploma. I hate that these players and they have to be my color, black players, refuse to get a goddamn education, refuse to get a college education, will try to hold on to a hope and a dream that is clearly not going to happen for you. It is set in stone at your junior year in high school. You are not going to make it in the National Football League. You are not going to make it in college. You are not going to make it in junior college. You're not going to make it in the UFL. You're not going to make it in the CFL. You're not going to make it at all, period. So get your ass, ditch the looks, and pick up a book.
I'm going to tell you guys the 3 things that changed in my life that changed the trajectory, not only of my football career, but my life in general. And for the people that are truly looking to improve, stick around till the end because I have something that's going to help people just like you. The first thing I changed was I stopped caring about the outside noise. So for those of you that don't know my backstory, I went to Don Bosco Prep at the time, one of the top high schools in the country. We had just come off of winning a national championship, so it was a super competitive program. Now, I was an undersized kid, and a lot of people told me I was never going to play there. So as I'm going through the early stages of my career,
Okay, so you hear that. You hear that. You see, you're an undersized kid, and people and the coaches tell you that you're not going to see any playing time whatsoever. So what the fuck are you supposed to do? Okay, an average logical thinking person would be like, okay, well, football's not for me. So let me get my ass in the books. Let me get my ass into education. Let me get my ass into school. Let me make sure that I'm present for every school. I'm sitting front row at every class. I'm staying after for every tutor. I'm getting my education to further me in my career than football can ever take me. Because it's clear that I'm not cream of the crop, which you have to be in order to get any kind of look. If you're undersized, if you're an undersized player, that doesn't discourage you from not wanting to pursue your dreams in NFL, but you got to be the goddamn cream of the crop. Take Tyrann Mathieu as exception. He played his position at cornerback and safety. He was undersized, but he was the goddamn cream of the crop 5-star recruit coming out of Florida. He was literally the best, the top of his peak when it comes to, you can't deny his talent regardless of his size. You lack that. So your ass should have made an educated decision in going into education, not trying to relive this dream that you hold and you had ever since you were a kid. It does not happen for everybody. That is okay. But to continue going down this road is only going to lead you to where you are right now. Let's get into it.
On the bench, and guys that are in my hometown, they're making plays on the field. Now me, I'm seeing that, and I'm starting to think like, oh, people are giving them praise. They're winning accolades. They have film. Me, everyone's like, yo, why are you not playing? Like, what happened? Like, I have to explain myself. And I'm just like, oh, man, like, I feel like a failure at this point. And I've had a lot of you tell me you feel pretty similar. You'll have people making fun of you for not playing on JV as a junior. And I'm not going to lie, it's hard. It really gets to your mental. And once your mental's affected, your on-field play is going to suffer as well. And it didn't help that guys I was training with, guys in my class at other schools, they're starting to get offers, they're starting to get stars, and I'm just there like I can't even get invited to a camp. But the one thing you truly have to realize is that everyone is running their own race. Like some people, they might be running 100, some people are 200. You might be running a marathon. So whatever race you're running, you have to worry about the pace for that race. Like if your pace is a 5-minute mile running the 100, that's not that good. For the marathon, phenomenal. And if you look at that in terms of on the field, some guys are going to get off to crazy hot starts in their career. They're not really going to develop from there, and they're just not going to pan out. You could be someone who's a late bloomer, late developer. You just keep getting better and better and better each day. Then by the time you reach the end of your senior year, you realize that, holy shit, like I'm better than everyone else. There were a ton of guys who had more stars than me, more offers, more accolades. By the time I got to the end of my college career, well, I had a much better football career overall than them. When at the time in high school, it didn't seem like that was going to be the case at all. Now
Okay. Do you see the delusion? Do you see the delusion? Do you see the narcissistic behavior and antics by Mr. Hunter Reynolds, you deem yourself as having a better successful football career than the people ahead of you, than the people who were 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star recruits. You could deem yourself as one of the prolific schools in the high school that you went through that produces elite football talent in your talent pool, and you were the bottom of the barrel at that. You couldn't even sniff varsity going into year 3 of high school. But yet you claim that you had a better football career than most of the people who already leaped you and are ahead of you and already had Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO college offers. Let's continue.
I'm not saying that to put anyone down. What I'm trying to get at is you have to understand that you don't have to put external pressure on you by what everyone else is doing. Worry about what you're doing, worry about running your race, and with that pressure lifted off your shoulders, you're just going to find your play improving dramatically. The second thing I started doing was playing to my strengths. Now, I was never the fastest guy in high school. Didn't mean I wasn't trying to improve that, because I was, but the reality was I just was not a burner. So early in my career, I'm looking at guys that are running 4.4s, 4.5s, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and do everything that they do. So in workouts and camps, I'm like, you know what? Let me run goals. Let me run posts. When that just really wasn't a strong suit of my game. But the one thing I always did was I was a super hard worker on my technique. So my technical skills were really good. And
So he proved that, one, he was not the fastest at his position, which playing cornerback and /safety, you need to be fast. You are covering wide receivers that run 4.4s, 4.3s, 4.2s. You need to be able to run, which he shows and clearly proves that he was not able to do, but his techniques were good. His techniques were good. He was technically sound. Listen, I'm not saying that, slow corners, can't make it. There's tons of evidences that show you the opposite or the contrary. But ladies and gentlemen, this goes to show you the delusion. And he's going to set these children up and these kids that look up to him for failure. And they're going to be looking back at their career and their football career as they're homeless on the street, not making any goddamn money when they had opportunities to further their education in college, which he never did. Let's continue.
Trying to realize that's when it's like, all right, I'm not going to be running goals, running posts. I'm going to run more digs. I'm going to run comebacks. I'm going to run curls, routes like that. And once I started really, really showcasing that, it's like, oh, wow, this kid's a really good route runner. Now, were there some coaches that were like, oh, your lack of speed is going to prevent us from recruiting you? Yeah. But my goal was even just getting on the field. So in playing to my strengths and getting on the field, I became a super reliable receiver. I had a great connection with our quarterback. And as a result, I was our team's leading receiver. Now, this is not me saying to not try and improve. This is me saying there are going to be things you're great at that other people are not great at. There are going to be things that other people are great at that you're not great at. Don't try and be a square peg in a round hole. Understand that there are a lot of different ways to win in football. Now, something like track, someone runs a 10-1, you run a 10-5, well, you're just never going to beat them. Shit, in football, you can run a 4-1, 4-2, 4-5, 4-8. There's still ways to win. Look at some of the guys that make it to the NFL, don't run the fastest 40, end up being elite receivers. And I know I'm talking about this in terms of wide receiver right now, but this really applies to every position. And this is something I had to relearn in my time in college. Once I transitioned from corner to safety, I had to relearn I have to really, really use the things that I'm great at to become a great player. So while I wasn't 6'4", while I wasn't someone that's running a 4.3, I was incredibly smart. So what did I do? I used my football IQ and my play recognition to my advantage, made a ton of plays that way.
The blitz is on.
Free blood test.
Plays that way.
The blitz is on. And Rodgers is down, sacked by Hunter Reynolds.
Pressure, steps out of it, looks to the far side of the field. McPherson is there, tipped up. Hunter Reynolds nearly comes away with the interception. Good job by Reynolds tracking that down.
He had it in his sights, and now he goes down at the goal line.
Hunter Reynolds played center field on that one. Just spied it, was able to settle underneath it and make the catch, almost like a fair catch.
Oh, and tripped up final.
Before he could break free, Hunter Reynolds saved the touchdown.
So, take the things you're not good at, keep working on them, but the things you are good at, really, really, really make that an emphasis in how you play the game.
Okay, so with these few clips that he showed us, nothing special, nothing jaw-dropping, nothing that shows, okay, this is I can see myself making it to the next level. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And ladies and gentlemen, as we get in further into the delusion of Hunter Reynolds, you'll understand exactly the mistakes and continued mistakes he made throughout his career that led him to now being a failing YouTuber that doesn't even have 50,000, doesn't even have multi-hundreds of thousands of subscribers on his account, but yet he's been posting videos for eons, like I've divulged earlier in this breakdown. You'll see the ultimate delusion in his mind. Kids who come across this video on my YouTube channel, if you know for a single fact you've put in the work, you've put in the time, you've put in the accuracy to try to make it to the NFL or try to make it to the next level coming out of high school, but it just isn't coming your way, drop the pads, pick up a book. It is that simple. Getting a college education does not make you a square. It actually makes you more inclined for a successful future than Mr. Hunter Reynolds at this time. Because once his football content dries up, his viewerships will dry up, meaning his revenue, because right now YouTube doesn't even pay that much anymore unless you're the cream of the crop like Mr. Beast, like I Show Speed, like Dude Perfect. Those guys make the cream of the crop. Everybody now has gone to streaming, Kick, Twitch, whatever. They are now trying to get their bag there, and even Kick and Twitch are starting to monetize their payments to the higher tier, topper tier elites like the India Loves, the Duke Dennises, the King 6'8s, the Rakais, the Raycons, and all this. These guys get the top tier of the top tier, and you see countless videos of Twitch streamers and Kick streamers being in financial ruin and depressed because they cannot kick past and be on that same level to get the monetary viewership and the dollars that these other guys are bringing in, because Kick and Twitch prioritizes big streamers with big motherfucking platforms, which Mr. Reynolds does not have on any of his platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, Twitch is not the answer. Kick is not the answer. TikTok is not the answer. Your education and college degree is the answer. You can still be a TikToker. You can still be a streamer and go to college and get an education that gives you a business degree to help fund whatever things you want to do outside of what your pertained degree is. This is just part one of the delusions of Mr. Hunter Reynolds and the pitfalls that he is setting these future generation kids up for failure. And I'm here to tell you guys, do not listen to him. Do not listen to him. Okay? If you do listen to him, and if you do find a way to crack yourself through, you have to be the top of the top. You have to be the cream of the crop. You cannot be, what does it say, a JV as a junior. You were a JV as a junior. You cannot go from a JV as a junior to the making of the NFL. At that level, once you turn the junior year and you still haven't cracked varsity, you need to quit football immediately and pick up a book and get your education on. Bronco and Stampede out.